Hey, thank you very much. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. You're listening to Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran of the comic book industry. Some people were asking, when is it going to be 26? February of 2019, I'm going to have to start saying 26-year veteran of the comic book industry. I'm really, I think I'll probably change it up. Nobody cares about 26 years. 25 years is interesting. Just got back from a little bit of business trippage. Did a live stream with Hard Bastard last night, which went over really well. And got some sleep. I think I got 8 hours for the first time in a long time, and woke up to some bad news. I mean, terrible news. My friend, our friend, Jeremy Hambly, YouTuber, famous YouTuber. He runs 2 YouTube channels, okay? One of them is called The Quartering. That's his newest YouTube channel. The Quartering kind of does the same thing that Comic Artist Pro Secrets does. It focuses on pop culture news and gossip. Fan stuff for fans. And the second channel is older and more established. It's called Unsleeved Media, and it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Magic the Gathering fan sites or channels on YouTube, focusing entirely on the card game Magic the Gathering. Jeremy has been at the center of some controversy himself. That's kind of why we found each other and why we can relate to each other, I think. Jeremy was accused of harassing a girl. Now listen, every single one of these hobbies is going to come under attack, a Gamergate style attack, which all kind of goes the same way. SJWs invade a hobby. They start to call the fans bigots and racists, begin to make changes, and then once the fans respond and revolt, the next step is to put forward an injured female, a woman who was abused and harassed by these evil fan bigots. Unfortunately for Jeremy, he was at the center of that. A cosplayer stepped forward and said that she was going to quit doing cosplay because Jeremy had harassed her. Jeremy said one thing about her. He said that cosplay is negligee. I think that's what he said, or lingerie. He said it's sorry, I'm so old. He said cosplay is lingerie. And I think with regards to this cosplayer who actually had some kind of Patreon account where you could pay her and she would take kind of photographs, sexy photographs in Magic the Gathering clothes, and that was kind of her thing. So anyway, Jeremy commented on that and said that was, not a great thing to do. He felt like it was some kind of courting ritual, a way to scam young boys out of $20 or something like that. And he frowned upon it. I think that was all the commentary he made about it, but she chose to take that and turn that to her advantage, and so did the Magic the Gathering SJW community, and they persecuted him for those comments for months. When I first discovered Jeremy, he was under siege, under SJW siege, over these allegations of harassing. Everyone's harassed this female. And it was tough. It was tough for him, but he seems to have climbed out of that. He's moving on. His channel is growing by leaps and bounds. He looks good. He's lost weight. He's trimmed his beard. And he seems much happier as of late. My wife and I both watch him. I watched him before. Andrea was like, "Who are you listening to?" I was like, "That's Jeremy." She kind of started watching him too, and we both think that he seems like he's in a better place, healthier and happier. He's attending Gencon this weekend. It started Thursday, August 2nd. This is, of course, 2018. So apparently Jeremy was in a bar. He's attending as a guest, or at least somebody who is of note, a celebrity of some sort. And people, of course, come up to him and say, "Hey, are you Jeremy Hambly? Are you Unsleeved Media? Are you The Quartering?" And this is the thing. I mean, you turn around, "Yeah, hey, how you doing?" You put out your hand, you shake people's hands. This is kind of what you do when you are somebody who people would like to meet. And in this case, somebody came up to him at a bar right outside of Gencon and said, "Hey, are you Jeremy Hambly?" And Jeremy turned around and stuck his hand out, friendly, smile. "Yeah, hi." And the guy just proceeded to punch him in the face over and over and over again. He said, "F you," and continued to beat him until he was stopped. It took 3 people to pull this guy off of Jeremy, and at which time the guy punched the window, smashed the window. That sounds familiar Those of you who have been following my YouTube channel, My Comics Career, Gotham City Pizza had a similar smash window incident, except fortunately I was not assaulted. So I hope Jeremy doesn't mind if I clip a little of this video. I mean, you can tell, by the way, Jeremy was a little bit disoriented when he filmed this because he filmed it in portrait mode. He knows better than that.
This is the window he punched in after not being able to continue to punch me. Here's some witnesses. Hey, did that guy just ask my name and then start assaulting me?
Yeah, he said, hey, are you Jeremy Hambly? And you said, yeah, and he goes, fuck you, and reached over and started punching you in the head.
Anybody care to disagree?
Nobody wants to get involved.
I don't think anyone does.
Exactly. Well, I don't know if you saw the YouTube footage, but just got here to Gencon 2018, was hanging out with basically Gencon royalty, a security guard from Gencon, a lineage of the Gygax family at the bar, and I'd met probably 20 or 30 of you tonight, fans, viewers, included hosting a live stream with a communist, and it was like 1:30, and somebody walked up behind me and said, hey, is your name Jeremy? And he would have been probably the 25th person to do that tonight. So I turned around, I said, yeah, and I stuck my hand out, and he immediately started punching me.
Okay. So let me get a better...
Repeatedly.
Let me get a better shot of Jeremy to end on here. Look. This is these are frightening times. These are bad times that we're living in right now. I believe a certain portion of the far left, and I mean, just a certain portion of the far left. Make no mistake, if you're a liberal, you're a Hillary, Bernie supporter, this doesn't mean you. This doesn't mean you. But there are some people who, agree with you about some things, who have lost their minds, who think that Trump being president means it's the end of the world. So far, things are pretty good. I don't know if you've looked out there, out your window, but things are actually going pretty good. And even if they weren't, a new day is coming. You will be able to vote again this November. You'll be able to vote again next year, in 2020. That's coming up. That's 2 years away. You're going to have another chance to speak your mind and vote your conscience. There are people who really think that this is the end of the world. Some of those same people are supportive of a movement, these movements that we discuss here on this channel, and and Jeremy discusses on his and other channels all over YouTube. Some of these people are supportive of social justice warriors coming in, essentially invading these properties, these hobbies, and ruining them. Whether you're ruining them in a small way, like, hey, I'm going to make Wolverine into a woman, or Iron Man into a little black teenage girl, or you're ruining them in a major way, which is making it unsafe for fans to attend a convention. Now, this guy who attacked Jeremy was wearing black pants. He was wearing a white sleeveless shirt and had one of those kind of like woke as hell rainbow flags on his shirt, and a 4-day pass for Gencon. I hope this guy can be found. I don't know if Jeremy can describe him any better. It'd probably be hard to describe somebody who was beating you into the concrete, sucker punched you in the back of the head over and over again. I don't know if Jeremy would be able to recognize his attacker, but I hope he's found and brought to justice. This can't go on. I mean, this can't be allowed to continue. This does mean, I mean, this is the last step. I realize that some of you, might disagree with the things that I say, or about Star Wars, or the things that I say about Marvel Comics, or the things that Jeremy says about Magic the Gathering, or everything. You might disagree. If you want to bring it to this level, if you want to bring it to the point where arguing over whether or not the paper that's being used on Magic the Gathering cards is cheaper now and the cards are bending, or whatever it is that Magic the Gathering fans are complaining about, the women on the cards aren't as hot as they used to be. If that means that you would like to promote violence, you are mentally ill. There's something wrong with you. You are a scourge to society. You need to be put in a cage. You need to be put in a cage. You need to put that cage needs to be put on a trebuchet. You need to be flung away, far away from people, into the Bermuda Triangle. There is no place in society for you. Jeremy is a guy who you can disagree with agreeably. As he just said, he just hosted a live stream with a communist. I'm sure he really enjoyed that. And I'll bet the communist, whoever this fellow was, probably enjoyed it too, because Jeremy is an agreeable, kind, affable, lovable giant of a guy who would never hurt anyone. He has opinions. He's got his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is the vehicle by which to express his opinions. My YouTube channel is the vehicle by which I express my opinions. But I mean, look, this is the world that we are living in now, where expressing opinions about silly things like Star Wars, comics, Magic the Gathering, cartoons on TV, will get weirdos. I mean, real, like, weird people frothed up into violence. And they feel like, I feel like these people feel like they've completely lost control of the world because of an election or two. You're going to further lose control of the world. This isn't going to go well for you. This doesn't look, these are not good optics. Now, Jeremy is talking here. He's saying at the end of this video, he says, I want to go home. I know that some of you will think that they've won if I go home, that they've chased me away. I know that that's the impression, but he says, I love my family. This guy could have had a knife, not just his fists, and I am unsafe here. Jeremy, you haven't lost anything at all. Those people who will be celebrating you being physically assaulted, violently assaulted, have thrown away whatever was left of their humanity and their argument. This is unacceptable. This is just absolutely unacceptable. And I do think that if there are the majority of people on this planet, the majority of people in this country will look at this and will understand. Will understand exactly what's going on here, and will take your side. None of us want to be victims. This is the thing about the left. They prize victimhood. I do not prize victimhood. I don't want to be a victim. Even when I am a victim, I don't want to say, I'm a victim, oh, poor me. I don't like it. I can't say it. It's uncomfortable to me. It's like putting on a dress. I don't want to wear a dress. That's what victimhood feels like to me. So I refuse to call myself a victim. And Jeremy isn't going to want to, wear this mantle of victimhood. But he has to. He has to, because he is a legitimate victim, and things have to change. And if things don't change, these hobbies that we love will be destroyed. These people, these crazy left-wingers, I mean, they're coming in from all different angles and destroying the things that you love in many different respects and from many different directions. It's like, not only are they going to destroy the quality of the thing that you love, they're going to destroy the content of the thing that you love, and then when you argue, they're going to punch you in the face. How long do you expect these hobbies to last under these circumstances? Do you think we can have fun conventions and meet each other, or ignore each other? Do you think this can go on? I mean, this can't go on. This can't continue. Tom King recently had to attend San Diego Comic-Con with a bodyguard because he was receiving multiple death threats over the content of a Batman comic book that he had written. And he felt unsafe. Well, I think he had every reason to feel unsafe, considering what happened to Jeremy here. There are people who are crazy. And they feel justified. I'm sure this fellow felt completely justified in what he did. And I'm sure that there are people out there that are so mentally ill that they're going to congratulate him for this. But ask yourself if this is the world that you want to make for yourself. Is this the society that you want to build for yourself? There are ramifications. The sword cuts both ways. You know, the sword cuts both ways. It's interesting. I mean, just, from my perspective, the same people who decided to try to run me out of comics and create a hate mob of harassment against me because of a Nazi joke, a single Nazi joke that I made. I'm not a Nazi, just a joke I made 11 years ago, were the same people who were absolutely flummoxed by the fact that James Gunn was run out of his job at Disney because of the 100 pedophile jokes that he made, and friends with child pornographers and et cetera, et cetera. How does that make sense? That's the world you're building. That's the world you're building. Social media will kill your job, will kill your career, will kill your lifestyle, and perhaps it will get you assaulted at a convention, punched. Some dude in a rainbow flag. Hooray! It's a rainbow. It's love. Love is love. Love is love. Now let's beat the hell out of you because you are upset about Magic the Gathering cards. Well, I mean, look, Jeremy, you come home. It's not worth it. I talked to my wife and just said, and she's like, "You're not going anywhere. You're not going to these conventions." I'm like, "Well, I have no plans to go to any conventions now. It just doesn't make sense. My influence is 1,000 times more powerful over YouTube. I can speak to people directly, people all over the world over YouTube, whereas getting on a plane and going out and actually shaking hands with a dozen people, it doesn't seem to be worth an effective use of my time or energy or talent. And I love my family too. I'm not going to imperil myself, just to, so some soy boy can get woke points from his Twitter friends. No, I'll just stay home. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing here. There's no money in conventions, and sadly, it's no longer safe to go to conventions. It's just not safe. It's not safe. And if we don't go, other people won't go, and conventions will get smaller and smaller. San Diego Comic-Con is shrinking, as we discussed. Fandom is shrinking. Why? Why? I don't know. Jeremy, I hope you see a doctor. Just make sure that you aren't concussed, that you're okay and healthy. We're praying for you. This wasn't the thing to happen to a guy like you. You are a super nice guy. Your fans love you. The Van Sciver family loves you. And we hope that you feel better and know that you have support all around the world. Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the laughing man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.